right, that was Saturn in Skies off of Ghost Ship Octavius's debut album, and also Lacy's best band you've never heard of. And they got one album in the can. I'm sure they're going to be writing and doing some new stuff soon, and hopefully they're touring around you. Because if they do, I would like to check them out. And, Lacy knows her stuff, so it's a band she's suggesting. I suggest you do the same. So that was this installment of Triple B or LBB, Lacy's best band you've never heard of. Of course, Biv will be back next episode to give us another great band that he scours the interwebs to check out, as we all know and as we all appreciate that he does. And he does that all the time just for you because he loves you so much and he loves metal. But speaking of loving you and loving you so much and loving metal, if you are in a metal band or if you know of a metal band, if you have a friend's, cousin's, best friend's, uncle's neighbor who is in a metal band and you know their stuff and you think we should check out their stuff, feel free to let us know. There's many ways to do that. If you don't like the Facebook page, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you should probably like the According to Metal Facebook page. You can communicate to us that way. Let us know who your vote for Triple B should be in case it's a band Biv's never heard of before. Or if it's a situation in which you're in a band yourself and you have some tracks you want to at least point us in the right direction of, whether you're on Bandcamp or, maybe your stuff's on Spotify or just you have tracks that you want to send to us, you can, of course, send us an email with that stuff at accordingtometal@gmail.com. That is accordingtometal@gmail.com. Send us your stuff. Point us in the direction of your stuff. And if you, yes, you, make the cut and you are one of the few and the proud and the privileged to be a Triple B candidate in a Triple B band that we highlight here on According to Metal, you may be that band, but you'll never know unless you do it. And if you do that, you, yes, you, may be the next Biv's best band we've never heard of.
Hey, this is Steve Conan. You're listening to According to Metal. Turn it up.
Now, if you're According to Metalhead, you know that when we talk news, reviews, interviews, and all things metal, part of reviews, even though it's typically albums, is also concerts, stuff that we check out that we want to share with you, especially if these are bands you've never heard of or bands you want to check out themselves when they come to a town near you. And, of course, if you listen to a couple episodes ago, I went to Iron Maiden with a couple of buddies of mine in Chicago, saw them at the United Center in Chicago, which was a great show. And, of course, you're joining us here in a little bit, and we talked about in the beginning of the show, went to ProgPower, which we'll talk to her in about. But Lacy Mucklow's been to a couple of concerts, went to Avantasia and Dream Theater on the Astonishing Tour, and gave us some the play-by-play and her thoughts on those shows as well. But this is kind of special because this is the first concert review that Biv and I get to do together, because it's the first show since we've done a podcast that we got to get a chance to see together, which of course was in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. It was Accuracy, which is a local band in Chicago, which we'll talk about here in a sec, but also Ascendia, Imminent Sonic Destruction, which of course in the last episode we had Tony Piccoli on the broadcast, and of course all of those great bands opening up for the great Circus Maximus. And so we saw the show in Chicago. It was a long day for Biv. I know he got there quite early, but let's start with that, Biv. I know that your day started at the ass crack of dawn, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it did, but it was totally worth it. I got up to Chicago probably just before lunchtime, and I dined with the most intelligent person I know, that, of course, being me, at Chinatown, and totally enjoyed it. But got to Reggie's. Now, Reggie's is not a place I was familiar with at all.
Neither was I.
Going into this, I just happened to stumble across the fact that one of my favorite bands, Imminent Sonic Destruction, was opening for one of your favorite bands, Circus Maximus, and we decided to go. Well, before you got there, of course, I spent some time going through the record store, which is part of the actual club, which is really cool. It's on the second floor, so there's a bar on the first floor. The second floor is the record store. The third floor is an outdoor bar, rooftop style, that's often done in Chicago. And then the actual venue is kind of located next door. So it's all like kind of a complex almost. But I did spend some time in the record store, which is a legitimate, full-blown records. I was totally impressed by that. What did you think of that record store, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you are a vinyl person, and I love vinyl, the problem is I don't have the ability of playing anything on vinyl anymore, which sucks because I have some metal records that I just won't play until I get a turntable again. But with that said, I mean, if you are a vinyl enthusiast, dude, I'm not kidding you when I tell you they have practically everything under the sun. So really, really cool place that I would definitely suggest any, not just metal. Yeah, they have a metal section, but dude, they had tons of like 70s rock and just really
dude,
cool
they
stuff.
not only had a metal section. I mean, I'd say close to half the store was either metal or hard rock.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I definitely lean towards those two more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So Reggie's is a new favorite venue of mine, by the way.
I agree. I would totally go see a show there again.
So I did follow them on Facebook so that I could just kind of keep abreast of.
Good idea. I never thought of that.
Yeah,
and if you're in the Midwest or the Chicagoland area, do the same. Reggie's Rock Club, awesome venue, man. But yeah,
it's right next to Chinatown. I mean, it's like 4 blocks from Chinatown.
Yeah, and especially if you're not from the Chicagoland area, which we aren't. Half of the pain in the ass of Chicago is the downtown, well into the city part, and this is in the city, but in the very south side of the city. So it's not nearly much of a pain in the ass to get in and out of it as other venues would be, like the House of Blues and stuff like that in Chicago.
Right. Yeah, and it's more so located if you're familiar with the U.S. Cellular Field where the White Sox play.
Right.
It's not too awful far from there, so it's not in the loop, which is what Jason's referring to.
Yeah, that's I guess a better way to word it. But dude, the upstairs, my favorite part of the record store was cool.
Oh,
I know you didn't like the bar downstairs, of course, because you were complaining about the music and whatnot. I was fine with it. It kind of had themes, like downstairs is more of like an old jazz blues bar, if you will, like that kind of vibe. And then the roof was definitely the metal portion of the bar. You know, they're playing Ozzy, they're playing Dio, they're playing Sabbath, Metallica, MegaDeth, stuff like that. But good food. Good beer. Of course, Biv only drinks 3-4 different types of beers, and that's it. We learned that. But it was a really cool venue. I would certainly recommend, if you're going to go to a show at Reggie's, don't just show up to the venue, go see the concert, and leave. I would definitely check out the bar and the record store. You know, if you get a chance to get there an hour-ish, 2 hours early, freaking do it.
Totally agree.
Yeah, but what was really cool is that we paid extra for the meet and greet, which turned out to be kind of a weird situation because, of course, and we'll get into that here in a second, but Imminent Sonic Destruction had a lot of gear that, they were kind of way behind because they had some trailer issues and flat tires and you name it. And Biv was in touch with Tony quite often throughout the show, or throughout the evening as they're making their way to the show, which was kind of funny. But we did get a chance to hang out at least a little bit with Circus Maximus prior to. And it was really cool because, like, we were supposed to do the meet and greet, and it was way after the time we're supposed to do the meet and greet, and they were about to open the doors, and they kind of said, oh, yeah, these people paid extra. Come on in. And so we went in early, and Circus Maximus was actually doing a sound check. So, we got to hear the very end of Namaste, and then, of course, the song Havoc. We got to actually hear, like, the sound check version of it, which was funny because they're just, they're not dressed up in their metal, concert gear yet. So, Michael Erickson, the singer, of course, is sitting there, like, in a T-shirt and, like, jean shorts and, just hanging out. In fact, I didn't want to be that guy. I saw Michael earlier at Reggie's a couple hours easily before the sound check, and I swear I saw him at the bar downstairs eating, and I'm like, dude, I swear that's him. But I didn't want to be that guy, and I should have been that guy. And I actually told him that when I got a chance to see him. I said, hey, was that you, like, eating some lunch a couple hours ago at the bar? He's like, yeah, that was me. I'm like, man, I should have stopped and said hello. He's like, yeah, you could have. By the way, some of the nicest guys I've ever talked to. I'm dead serious. And again, that's what's great about having this show, and what's great about metal as a whole is not only the music, which we all know and love, but to getting to really meet the people. I mean, I would consider Tony from Imminent Sonic Destruction at this point somebody that I would consider a friend.
What a great guy.
Oh, Tony's just an awesome dude. And so when you get to meet those guys and really get to know them, it gives you a whole entire appreciation of the band. I'm not saying that, me and Michael and the rest of the guys from Circus Maximus are on a first name basis or anything by any means, but just a genuinely cool group of dudes. I mean, I could tell you that at the end of the show, Circus Maximus, as you're walking out, we're giving handshakes to everybody. Hey, thanks for coming. And just I'm not saying they're the biggest band in the world by any means, but they're a pretty big name in the world of metal. And for them to act as if they were just some kind of local band thanking the fans for coming out, I think was super cool and just some really, really good peeps, definitely.
And that brings up an interesting point. Now, here we are in Chicago, which is arguably the third largest market in the country.
Third or fourth. Houston and Chicago will go back and forth, but pretty close.
Yeah, no. Okay, whatever. They're in top 5. And here we are. Now, it's Imminent Sonic Destruction's, essentially their CD release party.
Yeah.
Came out that
Triumphia,
day.
which, of course, we reviewed earlier in the show, came out that day.
Right. And on top of that, this is the first show with Circus Maximus, Imminent Sonic Destruction. It's in Chicago, the third or fourth largest market in the country. And what were there, Jason? Maybe 250, 300 people there.
Yeah, it was I was taken aback by the crowd or lack thereof, unfortunately. These are just awesome bands, and I was just like, that kind of sucks. The cool thing is that, and I saw an Ed Guy show like this in Chicago, strangely, with hardly anybody there. But the good thing about it, in a way, at least, is A, it was a very intimate show, and then B, those who were there are freaking fans, man. You know what I mean? So even though there's only 250, 300 people there, all of them know practically every single, word of every Circus Maximus song by heart. You know what I mean? I mean, they're into it. They're singing the words. They know this material. So it's not just a bunch of guys like, hey, man, I'll check out a metal show, even though I don't know who the hell these guys are.